Hello guys, since Sanctum won the poll, today I'm making a video about it. I'll show you, in my opinion, the most optimal farming strategy and share some valuable tips to help you farm more efficiently. Let's start with the loot and what we're aiming for in Sanctum. Our main targets are the unique relics, which drop from the final Sanctum boss. I'm talking about two key relics. The Desperate Alliance, which sells for around 3 divines, and the Last Flame, the Temporalist relic, and currently it sells for 140 divines. It's that expensive because it's the rarest relic you can get. By successfully completing no hit run with it, you will get the Temporalist, currently the most expensive unique. However, I will not recommend to try it by yourself. It's better to sell the relic. Now let's talk about the strategy I've been using. As I mentioned earlier, we are focusing on farming unique relics from the boss. To achieve this, I'm using the whole relic setup with 20% increased quantity of relic dropped from mobs, as this bonus also affects the boss loot. With this setup you will get 3 unique relics per kill instead of just 1. It's also worth using the Desperate Alliance when you get it, instead of 2 quantity relics. With it you can guarantee a jewel drop, which can be sold for 5 divines unidentified. That means a guarantee profit of 2 divines. However, keep in mind that the boss becomes significantly more challenging with this relic, and not everyone will be able to defeat it. In terms of health, it's comparable to fighting 2 arbiters at once. Also need to mention that Temporalist relic is only dropped from invitation level 80. Moving on to rooms. Avoid Gauntlet Trials at all costs. This room takes significantly more time to complete compared to any other type. You will have to navigate through traps and pull multiple levers. Simply dashing through isn't an option. The other rooms, however, can be completed without any issues. A few words about afflictions. Try to avoid mods that increase monster survivability, such as enfeeble, monster life, and especially reduce damage. Also, always avoid room types are unknown and get an additional affliction. The first one prevents you from skipping Gauntlet trials, and the second can completely ruin your run. From the merchant, buy items based on the situation. The best option are 40% additional movement speed, any damage modifiers, and revealing an additional room. Your goal with this relic setup is to run Sanctum as quickly as possible. The only cost you'll have is 1 Exile for each run, and that's it. The entire relic setup will cost you only a few divines. On the surface, everything looks great, but I want to go into details about the downsides of this farming strategy. First of all, only run Sanctum if you have a high movement speed, or even better the Temporalist. The locations are huge, and without this you'll spending over 30 minutes on each run. In my case, I could complete them in about 18-20 minutes since I got Temporalist. Secondly, you'll need to run a massive number of Sanctums just to drop 1 Temporalist relic. This could take several days. From my estimates, the chance of getting this relic is about 1%. Besides that, you're getting absolutely no loot. The chests at the end are complete trash and don't drop anything worthwhile. And for last, and for me the deciding factor, Sanctum is possibly the most boring content in the game. Also, you must always stay focused since honor damage is high, especially on the last floor. Personally, I couldn't farm Sanctum for more than a day, and by that time I had already grown to hate it. As for hourly profit, I can't say much, but be sure that with a high volume of runs, the profit will be quite good. And now a couple of positive notes. Potentially one of the highest profit per hour over a long distance, and you won't need to trade much at all. Once you've bought 100 annotations, you'll be running them for several days. In the end, I'd say that Sanctum is definitely not for everyone, and personally it didn't work for me. If you have any other questions, feel free to ask them in the comments or during my daily streams on my YouTube and Twitch channels. I also recommend joining my Discord where I post useful information as well as the current version of the loot filter I'm using. Thanks for watching and good luck.